That's recording now. We have a red light. So I'll go ahead and start. Hello and welcome to Digital Learning Resources. I'm Lucas Hicks.
I'm John Spagnuolo.
And today we're going to be talking about why we decided to call this the Digital Learning Resources. So if you're watching, if you're part of the RCA community, we're going to be talking a little bit more about some educational governance and some of the NC plans that have been in process. If you're watching on our YouTube channel and you're not a part of the school, we should still have some good content for you as well. We're going to be talking a little bit about our governance model. So maybe if you're working at another university and interested in implementing some of this model and this plan as well.
One thing we're blessed with in the state is a digital learning plan. It was legislated, and I think agencies and units across the state that are in education are responding. The Department of Public Education here has created a requirement for in-service teachers that's taking effect this fall for digital learning competencies related to that digital learning plan. There's been a call for infrastructure improvements, for reconfiguring access for all of the people in North Carolina, and the lead is an educational lead through the Friday Institute at NC State University. So it's really a big deal, and part of our response in the name choice was to let everybody know that we are aware of the need for digital learning resources to support that agenda moving forward.
Yeah, and we're fairly new in the name and actually existing as sort of this digital learning resources entity within the College of Ed. However, we've been talking about this for a while. It's been probably a little over a year that they first started talking about the digital learning plan, and then they released the digital learning competencies, I guess, back a year ago now. And you and I had started talking about rearranging some of the stuff that was going on. It used to be called the Media Lab, and we started talking a little bit about what should we call it? Should we continue on with the term Media Lab? And I think one of the things that came out of that was the thinking that, well, Media Lab kind of has with it, two things. One is media, so people automatically think, oh, it's only about media. It's only about content creation or something like that. And so if you're a faculty or staff and you're wanting to do more than that, maybe you're wanting to do something that's smart board within a classroom, or even less than that, even just a curriculum type thing that's not even media related.
Yeah, I think the media historically is what the genesis of our facility here really goes back to media studies and media programs.
Does, yeah.
So we can't disassociate or deny the history. But I think going forward, my big vision is to be able to create a model that makes sense with respect to programmatic content. Let me do this. So you've got the program, you got all this stuff here, this content that programs are teaching, even the media studies people, history, art, all these folks. And then you have the art of teaching, the pedagogies that are instilled in our pre-service population, and hopefully by the faculty in a way, and modeled by the faculty in a way that lends their skill sets to improving teaching. And then what we're trying to do is to add the digital learning resources that create this overlap so that we can really find that sweet spot. And this TPAC model, or this model is really what's driving the vision. So the digital learning resources is here to support the content, the programmatic content, what faculty are teaching, and also to try to instill a sense of artful media production and media presentation. So
right.
That's where we got the DLR, and under that we have other labs and other interests also.
Right. Yeah, and that's the other thing too is we're still keeping names like Media Lab, so we still have our Mac Media Lab, we still have our PC Media Lab, but it seems that the majority of people when they think of those, they think of locations, and that was the second thing that we kind of wanted to stray away from the term Media Lab and moving towards DLR was we wanted to be more than just a location. We wanted to be a collection of resources, both the physical and the digital, and the things that you can get online, the things that you can get in person with workshops and training. So we wanted to be more than just a location, more than just a center. So we kind of focused on some certain terms. So first is we are the DLR. So if you're curious, that's who we are, is the DLR, Digital Learning Resources. We have a couple media labs. We have a checkout center. So if you want to check out equipment, that naming convention works really well. People understand checkout center. They hear that term and they know what's going on there. So we have the checkout center. The checkout center is both online and the actual center itself, because there's a reservation portal.
Yeah, one thing that really accelerated this movement was the procurement of the asset management system,
Yes.
web checkout, because that allowed us to respond more squarely to the needs of the unit and inform our procurement requests for the whole college. In the past, primarily the curriculum and instruction through the media programs has kind of directed the procurements, the equipment for those classes that it supports. But now we have much greater needs in light of the digital learning plan that the state has put forward, and our undergraduate programs and graduate programs all need now to respond to the digital learning competencies. Not only for undergraduates, but our graduate programs now have administrative competencies with respect to digital learning. So it's more of a larger approach to procurement of media production resources to support faculty.
Yeah.
In all programs and areas.
Yeah, and it was something cool that we should note is that even before this thinking, even before we started doing this, there already was a checkout center. And that's a pretty cool model because honestly, in a lot of other colleges, even here on campus, if a department wants something, they buy it basically for that department and it just lives somewhere and it just stays there. So already, even within the College of Ed, there still was that opportunity that if something was bought for a department, yeah, other departments could use it because they could come to the checkout center and check it out. And so is this idea of like, if you were in a neighborhood and there was like a neighborhood mower, and so you could like all share the mower, and rather than have to buy, every house have to get their own, you can kind of share it. And that's kind of the mentality that we're continuing on, but just, trying to make it a little bit more organized and a little bit more user-friendly for people outside of the departments, and also keeping in mind other departments' procurement needs as well. So, maybe, a media-related department really needs cameras and production equipment, but another department may just need, conferencing speakers or projectors, portable projectors or something. So
yeah, making more use of the dollars spent on equipment, I think, is that the value of that's not lost on anybody. And I think this allows us to really be effective in procuring things that are of use and proven use. We can collect data now like we never could before with a previous checkout system. So.
Sorry.
Should we check out a new microphone?
No. I was curious if it was on. It was on. I just wanted to double check.
Okay, so we can cut that out if you want.
Yeah. I don't know. We'll leave it in there. It's like, is the mic on? Yeah, it's on. Okay.
We've got plenty in the media.
Yeah, we do have plenty.
At the checkout center.
Yeah, we do have plenty in the. Well, it's interesting because the checkout center is in the media lab, which has always been an interesting, way to go around it. And ideally, it could be its own room and you didn't have to walk through the media lab classroom to get to it. But that's that's as we work through and as we re-envision the building and the different rooms, that's something that we can look into as far as if it grows, if more people start checking things out. Maybe we can decide, hey, it belongs in another location so that it's more accessible to other people. But for now, we're still in the same spot, still in that 142 A room, and we enjoyed in there. We're still going with the Harry Potter theme. That's always fun. The students like it, the student workers like it, the faculty enjoy seeing it. So, we still want to keep that community side because, and there was something that I didn't realize is that back before in the old media lab, there was more of that. Conducive environment to just friendliness. It wasn't just a sterile media environment that you come in and it's just like everything's clean and it's like, no, there was couches around. They had the lunches, spotlight dining lunches, and
Yeah, it was a real community. It was like a family. I
yeah,
mean, it was like a living room for a family. And when I got here back in '98 or whatever, it was like a graduate student's living room. It really was. You go. I mean, it was like, you felt like you were going into somebody's living room. And we had at that point a lot of really cool media resources for production. And it was almost like you were hanging out with a family, and that's kind of what we're looking for, is to have people, students in particular, realize the value of the stuff we've got and start hanging out there and making relationships with people that work there and that are good at some of these tools, using some of these tools, and just create an environment that's really welcoming and relaxed and really suits the agenda of integrating digital learning technologies for the right reason into everything we do.
Yeah. So my start was back in the fall of 2015 is when I started in the Media Lab, is what it was called at that time still. And yeah, the whole room was just there was no artwork around, there was no theme to it. The Harry Potter theme hadn't started yet.
It was a new building.
It was a new building, so it was at that point 3 years old, I think. So it's still fairly new, but it just didn't have that feel of, wow, I just want to come in here and make media. It was more like, I have to come in here and make media. There was not even windows, so it was just like people would come in. I would come in at like early in the morning to like work on a media project, and then leave and realize, oh, the stars are out. This sucks. So it was one of those things, like I personally wanted to make it more comfortable, more friendly, because I was in there so long. I was in there working both as a student worker in the Media Lab, but also in a program that used the Media Lab. So I was in there almost all day, every day. I'm pretty sure there was multiple times you came in and you were like, do you live here? Like,
well, I'll never forget you putting the camera up on the 5th floor,
yeah,
so that you could display a view from the 5th floor on a screen, just to make it feel like a window out.
That was a fun project. It was a failed project, but it was fun. Just having a virtual window with a webcam and just trying to make as much as possible, trying to make it feel welcoming and friendly. And I think we're starting to get there. We're starting to get to that point. But it's fun to hear some of the stories of the past before I got here, and hear like how fun it really was. And it seems like people really want that. A lot of the faculty who are still here and who remember that past want that, and definitely students want that. I want that, and so we're trying to get there, and we're trying to get there in a way that everyone can join in. The whole RCOE community here at the College of Education can join in.
Well, a couple of things, like the chessboard, the ongoing chess game, word of the day.
Yeah.
It attracts me to some of the people in the facility, because I want to interact over some things that are part of that environment. So it really is. And then there's expertise that you start recognizing, or real passions in some of the students that are working in there. And they want to create media. They want to share. They want to get engaged. They want to create a community and be close to that expertise. So it's really working, I think. And going forward, our hope is that we can engage students through internships and faculty through media projects for their classes in that environment and in that community, so that we're really building something valuable to the College of Education. So that's the goal. And the name, again, Digital Learning Resources, reflects our state's investment, and also reflects the need that the students will have teaching in our state for the competencies around those tools. So that's what we're trying to grow and create. And I think it's working. We're trying to honor the past, and we're looking forward to the future. And I think the campus is recognizing this as an opportunity. Almost, it's difficult sometimes, but then again, it is an opportunity, and we're trying to push the gift and the opportunity of this pocket that we've got here that really is pretty good.
Yeah, and with that, there are certain things that are happening across campus, like the web checkout software that we purchased and that we're using now. Basically the College of Education just bought it. That was a long story, but for the most part, it was here. We're just like, we need it. Let's go ahead and buy it. And now other departments, not even within this college, but in other parts of the campus of Appalachian State University, are joining in.
Mm-hmm.
And they're buying into this program, and they're really enjoying using it. And they're able to go even more in depth with their checkout centers with it as well, because it just allows you to do so much. And what that creates is it starts to create an environment where these checkout centers, which used to be all separate entities, like all throughout campus, are now centralized. I don't really like that word, but they're in a way collaborating towards something, because we're all using the same program. So if someone over in Beasley Media Complex, I forget the name sometimes, if they need help with web checkout, I can go over there and help them out with web checkout. If they're doing some really incredible things with web checkout, they can let us know, and it helps us over in our checkout center. So it starts to create this conversation between checkout centers, and hopefully, my vision is hopefully that it will start to create an opportunity for further collaboration across these checkout centers.
And I think in terms of providing strategic data to advise procurements across campus, I think is a big piece of the adoption and the acceptance across campus. Because now, for years we couldn't ask intelligent questions about our inventory of media resources here without sorting. It was primitive, and now you can query the data in an informative way to inform your strategies going forward with procurements and use. Yeah. So that's huge, and I think that appeals to the administrative mindset. Not so much the faculty sometimes,
right.
But because we all want innovation and just creative, daring explorations of new stuff. But we're doing that also. So it's a balance between taking a risk and failing forward with bad procurements, and learning from them, and knowing what works and what has worked and has a history, and reinforcing those tools, those digital learning resources. Yeah. So I think I'm excited, and I think for me, and what we heard from the students in our focus groups through the Technology Advisory Committee, which sort of acts as a governing body for this digital learning resources, the students really need to know more about what we have to offer them outside of particular programs. Just in general, they can come and check out cameras, media production resources, use the editing suites and the editing software, and they don't really know it and believe it yet. So trying to get them to invest in that environment, sort of as independent agents who are just fascinated with the digital world that's emerging. It's a new world for them and for us every day. That's part of the joy of it too.
Yeah.
So it's I see it's almost magnetic. You find that sweet spot, and it's like, it'll draw. All you have to do, I'm not going to use the cliche, build it and they'll come. But once you find a spot for people to collect around something that's of value like this, they will start to amplify. And now it's a matter of managing it, moving forward, the processes, the agreements, the user management in the systems, the grouping. There's a lot of work that's being created, but it's really rewarding work because of the joy that you see in some of the media production activities.
Right. Cool. Anything else that you can think of that we should talk about?
With respect to digital learning resources in this college, I think we're a model for other institutions, because we really have responded to the student voices, the faculty voices, the programmatic voices. We have incredibly supportive leadership. The dean is all about informed, data-driven decision making, strategic planning. So we're falling into a way of moving forward that really does support digital learning and a really bright future for the state with respect to the educators that we're influencing. Well, all of our services that we're influencing. The counseling program. There's more than just teaching here. There's other programs, and there's staff development. The administration is embracing new tools because they're comforted by the support that they're getting from the environment. So that's another. I mean, it's a really a synergizing, win-win sort of environment for everybody, and I'm just happy to be part of it.
Yeah, and I suppose that's the last thing that we could probably leave off on, and is the digital learning resources. We want to be truly a collection of resources, and including the resources that we don't even provide, the resources that other people provide, and you can come to us to learn about those. So we want to be that one-stop shop where if you have a question on on something that's going on and you need someone to answer it, we want to be that, and we want our website as well to be able to link you towards the right people, because there's some incredible things going on in other locations on campus, and if they're able to help you even more, we want to send you off to those people, and so we want to definitely know everything that's going on so that we can then tell you everything that's going on as well. So
There are many pockets of excellence across campus, and we just want to be a glowing one.
Yeah.
That's all I can say about that.
Yeah. Well, cool. Well, thanks for watching. If you haven't checked out our YouTube channel and you're watching this on our website, please go do that. We'll have some sort of link here that you can go check out our channel. If you're watching this on our channel, and we're really glad, so if you like this video, please click the like button and leave a comment down below of any other questions that you might have about the digital learning resources. As always, thanks for watching. I will see you next time.
Peace. Live long and prosper.
Okay. Good.